for Minnesota, moving the ball ahead. Fashant with a great run ahead, shot on goal, and it will go through to the right for a behind. That is Stephen Fashant for the Minnesota Freeze. Coming all the way from the opening tip, scoring a behind, Minnesota 1, New York 0. So ball coming out again on the kick out, and number 28 from New York has it, Adam Franklin. Franklin moving it up the far sidelines. New York moving left to right here on your TV screens or in reality here at the field.
Yes, on your TV screens. This is Australian rules football in the US, New York, Minnesota. That's a good start. Like your spacey style between words, if you will. Good delivery there, Jordan. Looking for a special delivery from in their forward line, Minnesota. It wasn't that. It was smothered off the boot. Ball caught in the middle of a horror movie at the moment there. Not shocking, umpire McLaren out of his brain, but comes on in and says, give it to me, baby. I'll toss this to the air. As we start to get a feel and an optic on the numbers. The number 3 for Minnesota Freeze there is Dean. Dean smashes and crashes through the pack. No way out of there for him. Road blocked, and the ball is battered out of bounds on the outer side. Jordan?
Yeah, back to a boundary throw in here. Minnesota's been moving the ball really well so far. Notice they've been moving it by foot a little bit more often than they've been kicking and handballing out. It's a bit unusual, but it's working so far for them. As the ball comes ahead towards the Minnesota goal. Nice handball there. Number 2 had it, lost it. New York is running back for it. And it looks like Minnesota is taking it out. Number 28 was running from the sweeper for New York, but got tackled looking for the number there for Minnesota. But it was a great job there by the pocket forward to chase down the ball as we have another ball up here right in front of the behind post for Minnesota. And that is another behind for the Freeze. Went pretty good action there. I couldn't see who kicked the ball, but we'll see it on the replay. And that is another behind. The score, Minnesota 2, New York 0.
Yeah, Minnesota kicking with whatever breeze there is. It's going to pick on up during the day, as you've heard me say previously before. Yeah. They choose a left half back as their location. New York now, good beat. You give it to me, I give it to you, and I will kick because that's the name of the game, football. Nobody in the middle, nobody home except the number 2 for the Freeze there in Robertson. Mr. Robinson, now across to the number 20 there. I'm good there. And Weaver, the Dream Weaver, who helps you make it through the day and night. Oh, delicious delivery, Zach. Connects there with the sliding Werner. These names, experienced names. Werner, Wackett. Good to see you back, boys. Back. Way on back downtown. And at the back of the pack like that is the number 17 there in Rusbeck. And the old firm getting together there in Weaver and Wagner. And they've found our man, number there 17, as we said, there in Resbeck. Bick, you beauty, he says. What a beauty. Wow. And they've come alive as they jump around here on the green grass of the Lake Ranch fields. It's good to touch that grass. On the Cooper scoreboard, 1 goal, 2-8. Minnesota, New York yet to score. Very impressive.
Yeah, and just as I was saying that Minnesota was moving the ball along the ground by foot, suddenly they come up with 5 beautiful straight kicks, one to another, marking every time, ending up with Riesbeck, and then he kicks a beauty of a goal from about 15 meters out.
Tear in the eye of the US Revolution assistant coach standing alongside me there, and Jason Becker found a heart and soul of the Minnesota Freeze, liking what he sees, but the likes of Weaver and Werner, I mean, you know, it's not their first rodeo. And, of course, Brent Mergen's out there too. These guys have played in big-time matches, represented their country with distinctions. Anyway, meanwhile, we're with New York, and we're going to be a part of it for the boys from the Big Apple. The Big Apple is on the outer side. Couldn't take a bite of that. Minnesota have got good numbers around the ball. Oh, yeah, good handball through there. They could work it out, but they've worked the chains down to maybe what their wing position just thought of that with a throw it on the outer side. Jordan?
Yeah, boundary throw-in coming for the Minnesota Freeze as the ball gets tipped ahead towards Minnesota's advantage. Little chippy kick ahead, and Minnesota's continuing to run for it. That looks like number 9, Christopher Bergiotis. And that's coming up into the Minnesota forward pocket, spinning around, but losing possession. We've got it down, and it looks like it's going to be a no. Thought it was a ball up, but suddenly the ball comes out to New York's advantage, but Minnesota's on it once again. A little slip around.
Ooh.
And is that a goal? That is not. It is another behind. Gorilla, did you catch who the player was that scored that behind? I can see him. When he turns around, we'll let you know. But it was a really nice goal, really nice maintaining of possession there. Little bit of a spin move to get around the New York defender, and then connects on the boot, scores a really nice behind. Could have easily been a goal.
Away we go again. Choice of the location is the attacking side of the ground for New York, and they've got numbers behind the pack, and they're running as fast as they can now. One bounce, will he take another? No. Delivery high above me. Oh, standing in front is the big number 23. He's built like an international harvester. And Steven sees someone there on the other side. Is that the Weaver? Zach Weaver. Delicious delivery by Zach, and finds Dean. Honors the lead and further there to the number 16 there. And Werner couldn't get a beat on it, but he's using his physical body to exert pressure. Backdoor man for New York. Hail Mary handball. Number 3 there for the Freezers, Dean. Whistle on the play. High contact, umpire McLaren says, going the way of New York. Jordan.
Yeah, that happened right in front of our commentary booth here. Looks like it hurt a lot. That was a big hit on number 10 for New York, Shane Lowry. Lowry, it was mostly unintentional. Just got him right in the forehead, but Lowry is back up, clearing the ball out, and go out for a boundary throw-in. This is on New York's attacking side, just about 40% of the way down the field as the boundary umpire throws it back over his head. Ball coming loose. Number 27 for New York has it, but good defensive pressure by the Freeze. Wrapped up there by number 3 for Minnesota, Lee Dean. Ball coming out now. New York still maintaining possession, but the ball on the ground. Minnesota kicks it out with a clearance. Beautiful handball there from 16 to 6 for Minnesota. Get their names in a moment, but really great ball movement there as New York has it now and bringing it out towards the back pocket. And that's a mark. That is number 91, Jiva Smith for the New York Magpies, kicking it ahead. Another mark there for the Magpies. Going out towards the side, far side wing. Minnesota having possession again. Handball back. And another. Minnesota trying to work it out of danger. Not quite succeeding yet, but moving the ball well. And the ball is down. We'll have a ball up. What do you think of the game so far, Grilla?
Yeah, Jordan, you know, I'm just looking at Minnesota, and they've got great structures, and they've got under great guidance there of Jason Becker, and they've been divisional champions before, and there's the structures of them compared to New York at the moment are dominating. New York, though, will not be denied. Bootleg around the other side there, the number 9 there, and Delves into the forward line. They're going to make a liar of me here at the New York commentary curse. These boys, though, you know, they've been divisional champions 2 times over, and they're over the 50-yard line, and they're over towards the danger zone. There's the Dream Weaver. Spin around. Weaver sends it to the ground, moves the change. New York couldn't gather. Minnesota scoop it up like that as quick as a cat in the jungle, and they away the Freeze. Unfrozen. They've unleashed towards the centre-half forward position. Is that Desire there? Of course, number 2. A regular number 2 for New York. Minnesota, they're arriving on the scene. New York pick it up, get a little side door action. Play action here in the alley. They'll mark through their number 91 there in Smith. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Smith, as he kicks the right half forward, no mark. New York raising their tempo too. Minnesota, though, hunting packs, attacking this thing called commentary wrap. All wrapped up. Umpire comes in and says, give it to me, baby. Toss up, Jordan.
Yeah, ball going to come up here. New York increasing the pressure quite a bit in the last 4 or 5 minutes. The ball previously was down on Minnesota's end. It's been much more even since then. Little kick off the boot there, number 5, Johnny Croft from Minnesota. But New York has possession again. A great hit there from the Freeze by number 6. That was Tatsuro Tonioka. Ball coming out towards the sideline. New York had possession, lost it to Minnesota. Number 2 on the kick, Ian Robertson for the Minnesota Freeze. Ball bouncing ahead towards the New York left wing. Coming out again, handballs out from Minnesota. Minnesota moving the ball really well so far, but New York's putting some good defensive pressure in as well.
And big bodies there from Minnesota Freeze. They really do have physical presence too around the ball. You see a lot of big bodies, a lot of Ford-built trucks, if you will. Up we go again. New York, his desire around the ball. He's a big game player, not his first rodeo by any stretch of the imagination, needing some creativity at the base of the pack to get out. Umpire comes in and says, let's get back on the straight and narrow is the way to go, like his mama told him, and to the air. Won by New York, 39 out towards their number 21 for New York, who was Bowman, boombox towards the alley, left-hand side. Takes a cruel bounce, favours New York, bootleg to the left, and then uses his right. You're right on time. No, you're not. This guy has stood up and slidden in. The number 23 for New York. Talk about big bodies, baby. And that is Stevens. Stevens offloads to one of his skedaddlers, and will change up to the other side and in excess Fashion, who wants the Fashion nugget more. They've overrun everything. New York have got it. Thinking about it. Blanketed to the fire with Zach Weaver, that has the presence of mind to go back and provide the block. On the block here of Lakewood Ranch, and the ball is over and out. Not too far around from the commentary position, slightly favouring New York. Jordan, let your river run.
One of the names we've called quite a bit so far is Benjamin Stevens for Minnesota. He's been solid in the back line as the ball comes ahead on the boundary throw-in. Number 3 for Minnesota. Number 8 has it, clears it out of danger, and really good job on the spoil there on the mark for number 28 with some good defense for New York, although the ball comes out. Looked like a push in the back there by New York, and yes, indeed it is. The referee with the call. That was number 28, Christopher Adams from Minnesota, creating the pressure that led to that push and that turnover, and that is for Minnesota. We will get his name in just a second, but he is stepping back to take a free kick from about 50 meters. Long kick towards the center square. It was touched over the line. Number 18, Andrew Wang for New York, just getting a hand on it. As you know, Grilla, in our sport of Australian rules football, the ball has to come off your foot to go through for a goal. If it comes off any other part of anyone's body, that is 1 point and a behind.
That's correct there, Jordan. They tried a different location, but Minnesota Freeze were onto it. The under 8 picked it up, and that was Walsh, but he was offline to the left, and through for another minor. 1 goal, 5 now. Jeez, inaccuracy. You know, this oftentimes can come back to haunt you. The breeze won't do it for you. We saw in the last game an amazing game of football with Seattle, where you see the bluest skies apparently ever see. Well, you'll see them in Sarasota too. Came back and snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. Now, New York have a pedigree where they played in Division 1 match. Good closing there by Minnesota Freeze. Perceived pressure. Put the New Yorker into a zone where he made the mistake. But every chance, and there's another good marker, his first mark of the match there, 99, and Bartlett. Bartlett inserting his influence, injects into the forward line. Bounce, come on, bounce, foot race. Dream Weaver's in there. And he make him get it out of defence. The number 10 there is Fisher, another name that comes to mind. These guys been around for a long time. Number 9 you can see for New York there is Delves. Dances a little okey-doke and kicks forward inside his 50 region. Mergen uses his body to block. In goes the Weaver. And the thing about Minnesota Freeze too, Jordan, is these players now, these core players, Weaver, Mergen and the likes, have played a lot of football together and in their structures alongside each other.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, I haven't seen Minnesota play this year, but you can always recognize a team that has a lot of years playing together because they move the ball so smoothly from one player to another. And that's just a product of years of being at training together, learning each other's skills.
And playing, you know, for their country together. Stevens will send it down towards and got an ace in the hole down there. Finds his man. The number 3 is that Dean. Dean delivers wide, makes his connection out there, programmed to receive. Kicks forward, move ahead, try to detect somebody. Came running into the space there, big number full forward there, 24. But couldn't quite make it. Good undercut of the route there by New York. Number 10 you can see for New York is Lowry. Revs it up, gives it a ride inside 50. Back of the pack is Mergen. Mergen kicks it out of defense, didn't find anybody. Rocked the boat, turn it over, took the mark, and will be just that. We're going to settle things down, New York, and see if I can pick out somebody to love. Smith couldn't. Minnesota try to smash it away. Number 2 for Minnesota is Robertson. They clear the present danger. Fist of fury by the number 11 there for Minnesota could have been Mergen. Smash mouth football out of side. Boundary line wins will have a throw in on that outer. Jordan.
Yeah. So far side of the field, that is New York's attacking left wing. We've got another boundary throw in. The bounce coming up. New York getting possession of it. And cleared ahead towards the New York forward pocket. And did they pay that? They paid that mark. That was the mark of the day so far. Really leaping up there, going almost horizontal, making the catch. And I don't see who that was. Grilla, did you see the number?
Up and away we'll go. We'll keep moving, chugga-lugging along. Spin out, kick out of the pack there by Minnesota. Move the change towards the boundary. It's not over and out. New York keep it in with another chance. Beyond their minds that they've been inaccurate, Minnesota. New York can sense they are still in this. This is pure entertainment, USAFL football. Football. Who's got the football? The 21 there for New York. Flying shot on goal, Bowman. Bowman off to the right, and it rolls and tumbles like weed across the white towards the tournament tent. Throw in. New York. Like I said, 2 times divisional champions in the past. They know what winning is all about, Jordan.
They absolutely do. They, in fact, won the Eastern League AFL with 3 games to spare this year. They really dominated in the competition. I played against them. They played an amazing game of football against us.
Freeze. Fandangle, again, just now the eyes of the Freeze, just starting to belt it out without any sense of direction, but the tackle and the physicality cannot be denied. The Freeze, the number 6 you can see is there, Tanioka. Tanny, that was a get-out-of-jail card there by the Freeze. And they've found themselves here just shy of the centre. McLaren sends it to the heavens. Smashing it down towards their number 6. 6 is Tanioko again, tantalising kick to the forward line. But they've got a spare man in defence here in New York. If we can only find a handle on the top. Arriving is at the number 6 again. So Tanioka, you've got to admire the fact that he had good gut running, if you will. Because we just saw him just shy of the centre. And in a flash, he was gone. It happened so soon. Good running to lay that tackle, Jordan.
Absolutely. Tanioka, I would vote him best on ground so far for Minnesota. That is one of the things about this game. It is absolutely a game of both speed and endurance. And Tanioka just had the guns to rocket himself from midfield all the way to the forward line, make a beautiful tackle there, really kept the pressure up for Minnesota.
Out on the full from New York. Good pressure by Minnesota. And it's in the hands of a danger man, Weaver. Will he weave his magic here? Weaver, probably a little ways out from goal. But baby, he's a magic man. Look at that. Weaver instructing with Robinson to go. You give it to me. I give it to Weaver. Can dance the Dougie. Back to Robinson. They're closing New York. There's hands by Weaver again. They haven't lost anything. Weaver tries to slap it through the pack. Still in the same position. They go to ground. Umpire McLaren says, give it to me. So you can see what the Weaver did there. actually did the thinking from Robinson. The space was open, enticed Robinson to cometh forward. A real danger man is Zach, Jordan.
Ball up again, and New York ends up with it, but blocked on the kick, and it bounces ahead. New York able to maintain possession, but a little fumbled handball ends up with number 16 for the Minnesota Freeze, kicking down towards the forward pocket and touched over for a behind. That was number 16, Andrew Warner, with the behind for Minnesota after a good run of play, receiving possession.
And half-time here, match 2, Division 1 on a Sunday, a good day, a finals day here on Coopers Field as we cast our eyes upon that scoreboard. 1 goal, 6-12. Some worry, though, for the Minnesota Freeze because, you know what, 6 points, like I said, oftentimes like a horror movie can come back and get you when you're inaccurate. So they'll be quite well aware of the fact they've had 7 shots on goal, which is great. They're only 2 goals in front, Minnesota Freeze of New York, who will be sailing home with this breeze that is picking up all the time. We'll leave it there just for now, Jordan. A great debut in your first half at the Nationals. We'll throw it down to Chris. Chris, what you do best, good buddy. paging out of bounds, and we'll throw it in at left half forward. Jordan.
All right, throw in coming at left half forward on the side of the New York Magpies. The score here, looks like we've had an adjustment on the scoreboard. It is Minnesota, 1 goal, 5 behinds, 11. No score yet for the New York Magpies, but never count out the New York Magpies. Ball coming out and whistle blows. We're going to have a ball up right in the left forward pocket towards the New York Magpies side. Ball comes up, and we'll do it again. Ball coming up again from the boundary umpire. We'll do it again.
You find the umpire will go and give it a crack, so he gave the young lass there a couple of goes. But there's no time on, so the umpire comes in and tosses it away. Off you go, Jordan.
Ball bouncing up between a few players here. That is number 17 from Minnesota, Spencer Reisbeck. Ball coming out again. New York punching it out to advantage as number 7 for the Magpies. Sean Holmesby comes in, punches it in the New York direction. Ball down in the pack again. Number of players from both sides on it, and we'll have another ball up here. Ball coming up. We are here in the early second half, early going here. Minnesota versus New York, Minnesota up 11-0. Handball comes out. Minnesota moving the ball really well. Number 18, James Williamson, kicks out to the side, but it's a little too far. Schoenmakers for New York with the mark, and New York's got a good chance to score here from about 40 meters out.
Schoenmaker, now there's a name that I've seen many a time. If I cast my mind back, and you couldn't hand a man a grand spanner, if you will. He's got the whole world of New York in his hands. He's got the whole wide world on a Sunday morning in his hands. A little preach-in. Pumps the jam, pump it up across the face. And is it what's it done? Has it snuck in? No. Off the Dutchie to the left-hand side. On the Coopers scoreboard side of the grounds. They get on the scoreboard, New York. 1 point trailing Minnesota, a 1-5. If you take a quick look at the flags, you can see that the breeze is picked up by a couple of knots, Jordan.
Yeah, breeze really picking up here, and it's blowing in the direction of the New York Magpies goal. I would be a little bit nervous here if I was Minnesota. I'd want to slow the game down. Of course, for New York, I would just run as fast as I could, try to get the win here. Ball coming back out, and that is Minnesota's number 12, Fashant, running it ahead. Fashant with the give and go, kicks out, but a little bit short, nobody there. New York getting possession back, kicks ahead, that was not a mark, went on the ground. That was Djordjevic. Djordjevic did a good job trying to sell the mark, but the referee was not buying, and looks like we've got a free kick here. Minnesota with the free kick. Number 20 walking back for it. Number 20 for Minnesota, Zach Weaver. We've called his name quite a bit today, Grilla.
We have the Dream Weaver. That was umpire Bittman out there too with umpire McLaren. Kick towards the broadcast position. Number 12 claiming the mark. He's over and out. There was Fashion. Fashion elects to play on, but he's over and out. And the boys just blow off a bit of steam. As the toss in, so we'll get on with the action here. They're going to toss it in. The umpire will come in and grab it and send it.
Yeah. Discussion here between the umpires and a couple of the players, but of course that's why the umpire is the umpire. We've got a ball up here right in front of our commentary booth on a beautiful windy Sunday morning here. Sarasota, Florida, the score Minnesota 11, New York 1. A little bit of time elapsed in the second half. New York not quite racing the clock yet, but they want to move it as fast as they can. Minnesota wants to try to slow the game down. That is number 20, Weaver, yet again clearing for Minnesota. Ball goes out. We will have a boundary throw in.
All right, there's going to be a bit of judgment where the white line here is on Judgment Day, and you know, the fevers are really high, and both these sides have got it on the red line overload. So they're really saying hello to the ball at the moment. And when you're on the red line overload, things can get a little sideways, but it's direct at the moment there by New York. Weaver and Minnesota and his Chargers are charging back like the Light Brigade, but the number 40 is doing pretty well, and Georgievic on the slant route, out of side, didn't make connection. The ball went to ground. Mergen arrives on the scene and commits body and soul. They've got support around the New York have around the arc. No connection there. Number 9 you can see through the pack is delves in. Delves on off to the side. A midfielder comes down to the number 10 there for New Yorkers. Lowry couldn't get on the end of it. They're trying to end that forward sortie. Minnesota only as far as the number 13 there in Craver. Spin around tackle. Didn't seem to have the ball. Umpire says let it play. That was on Smith. They put the whistle away and will come in and say, okay, boys, clear the deck. Like I said, red line overload stuff. All loading up around the ball. It soars. Opening up the ruck door. Fly. Like Kravitz, I want to fly away. To the midfield. Outer side. Is that the number 8 for Minnesota? It was Walsh. Walsh bundled out of it, gets back in it, gets on it, looking for the number 16 there, and Werner. A little hot to handle out there was for Werner in Black Crowes fashion. Coming back now, could have been Fisher to the forward line, centre half forward, another whistle on the play, a push. So a push after he delivered the Minnesota player, which means a relay free kick, Jordan, under the watchful eye of umpire McLaren. Out the side door, Minnesota. Give it to their number 8 there, and Walsh. Walsh whacks it onto the boots. But it's missed to the left-hand side, and the side is Minnesota freeze. They unfreeze the scoreboard. They move to 12. New Yorker 1. So 2 straight kicks can still do it for them. And I'll leave you with Jordan. Let it run, baby.
Intercept mark off of the kick-in for Minnesota. That is number 10, Brent Fisher, taking a solid mark, kicking it inside the 50, but gives it back to New York. He plays on with the handball. Kick up ahead for New York. Nice mark there by number 40. That's Georgievic. Georgievic handballing ahead, but Minnesota able to get to it and apply the pressure. Ball down onto the ground again. That is number 5 for Minnesota. Johnny Croft creating the defensive pressure, and we will have a ball up.
Yeah, that's it. I see you going with that, Jordan. That we will. Keep it going now. Keep it trucking.
Well, they're keeping it trucking out on the field as the ball pounces out towards New York. That was 27 with the kick for New York. 27 is Luke Schoen. So we've got a pause in the game now. It looks like it's going to be a free kick.
A mark?
That was a mark. Yes, indeed. Kick out by Minnesota off of the mark, and there is another mark there. A little bit of pushing and shoving, but Minnesota with the ball on the far side of the field, moving from left to right here on your TV or in reality. The score, Minnesota 12, New York 1.
Out the outer side, New York, they're threatening, rolling thunder, chasing the wind. Tackle, umpire said that's okay, Annie, it's okay. Kick away towards the sideline. No, not quite. Mark Page just on the edge of the limit, trying to clear their defensive limits. They've crossed the county line, Minnesota away, but took a little bit too long to distribute. Rope pulled and branded to the deck. As you can see, they know they need to get back in the game, New York. New York, up he goes towards left half forward. 99, Matthew Bartlett needs assistance. Dials 911. I am the one, says the Minnesota Freeze player. Well, now there's 4. One becomes 4, hunting again in packs. Attack. Getting his arms free in the air like at a Keith Urban concert was the number 28 for New York, who was Franklin. Franklin, another one of those names that I'm talking about. Big-time player. But it's back in defense. The freeze towards the center of the ground. Around the place was 86 and Dixon. Dixon kicks to nobody. A big body, though, for Minnesota. Might have been Stevens looking for their number 17, whose rise bit goes back in for more. On the outside is the number 10 there in Fisher. Fisher, foot loose, fancy, free. fabulous kick. Fine 16 there in Werner. Werner delicately caresses the ball towards the hole. 3 you can see there is Dean. New York now. Since there's a free ball, not a free ball, you've got to risk everything to get it. It is in the attacking zone for Minnesota. And to ground, they know they need at least another score to make this, what is it now? Is it a 2 straight kick ball game? One plays 12. So a score at least will mean if New York does kick a goal, it will be a draw. Now, they do have that shot on goal I was talking about. Free kick against New York. Illegal contact on the number 25 for the Freeze, who was Stolber. Trying to raise the scoreboard by a point at least. He has got that. Now that's the point I was talking about, Jordan, making the point. It's a 2-goal ball game, but if New York do score, it'll be all square. Send it, Jordan. Do your stuff.
Ball now in the far left pocket for the Minnesota Freeze. Minnesota, man, wide open there. That is number 6. And it was touched over the line. Oh, that hurts. Number 6, Tatsuro Tanioka, was wide open. Got it through the line, but not without touching it first. The score now, Minnesota 14, New York 1.
Out to the outer side, Tanioka, a dangerous goal kicker. You've got to watch him, and a man that runs with death, but running now like he's chasing the devil before the morning sun. New York threads the handball forward, doesn't make the connection. Another chance for the Freeze. 18 diving on in for the Freeze was Williamson. Scintillating hot there at the base of the pack. The umpire comes in to douse the fire. Fire in their souls as they rip it down, picked up by New York towards the centre. Number 10 for the Magpies. There was Lowry coming into his own. Ooh, dropped the pilot out there, but good enough to pick it up again as a 22 in Shoemakers. This way, backdoor man, happy to be. Who will it be in the forward line for New York? Smashed away by Weaver. Only as far as Shoemakers, I believe. Shot on goal and missed to the left-hand side. So Shoemakers. Now, he is one of their prime players, and when the game is on the line, they rise. The cream to the top, Jordan.
Yeah. Zach Weaver for Minnesota was almost a one-man defense there, just running back and forth, always finding where the ball was, punching it out. New York managed to get the behind there, but Weaver really giving his all to his team as the ball comes out from the behind Minnesota, and Weaver drops the mark. Ball goes over the line. We're going to have a boundary throw in. Surely not much time left here in the second half. The score, Minnesota 14, New York 1.
Time enough if good enough, Jordan. Here's the toss. Spin in, wheeling onto the ruckman. New York front position. Minnesota at the back. Picked up by Minnesota. Possession, 9/10 of the law. Moving the change. There's our little player again, the number 6 there. And Tanioka, boy, he covers some ground. We just saw him up in the forward pocket a second ago. Fitness personified. We're going to panorama this ball back into play. The rainbow effect. A multitude of colours around the ball. Black and white. The Freeze always coming with a different kind of design. The Collingwood stripes of the Magpies. The Weaver at the base of every bottle of the pack at the moment. And happy to hold them up. The Weaver knows that New York have got to bring it. It is in the air. New York have got numbers behind the pack, one by the Freeze. No way out of there like the Joker to the Feith who can steal it away. Weaver again laying the tackle, the action man the last 5 minutes, as you so rightly spotted, Jordan.
Yeah. Weaver again being everywhere where the ball is. Really beautiful tackle there on the New York player as the ball comes back out. New York able to get possession, but spills it ahead. Minnesota with the handball, but it's intercepted. Handballed back to 27 for New York. Nearly marked there, but some good pressure defense by Minnesota. Ball coming down, number of players around it, including 23, Benjamin Stevens. We're going to have a ball up. New York able to move the ball pretty well, but not quite getting that last touch on it thanks to a stingy Minnesota defense. Sometimes the perception of pressure is just as important as the actual pressure. As number 6, Tanioka, gets it out. Minnesota able to maintain possession and clear. And there's a man coming towards it, but New York able to push them off of the ball. Number 1 for New York, Matt Barless. Minnesota has it again, and we've got a whistle here, Grilla.
We do. Illegal holding against the freeze, the way of New York. Will yank it. Will he yank it and crank it in Hank fashion? Who will slap it away? Well, Minnesota tried to. No mark by New York. Again, like I like to say, they've moved the chains. A good, 25 yards. Thank you, Dougie Drinkwater from the AFL Fast Track program. We'll be talking to you later in the day. You've got some fantastic announcements to make. Very excited about the opportunities, not only up here in the commentary box for the rookies like Jordan, but there's an umpiring announcement to be made today about the Division 1 final. That's a long way away. Neither of these sides can make that final, but neither of these sides have had a win today. And one of them want to go home like a NASCAR winner. There's a free kick going the way of Minnesota. Let's get back on it. Now, they've had to really defend like the National Guard. Going back to New York, Bittman says. So, well within range, and the wind is picks up the spirit, and will send this one to the sky. Blue skies I see straightness, or do I see to the left? No, judging by the yes of the New York crowd, they have shot and they have scored. So now they will move to 8. 8, 1 kick out of it. This is like a replication of what I saw in the previous game, Jordan.
Yeah,
where Seattle just took it in the last second of the match. There's multiple seconds to go. Oftentimes now, the center clearance here in the middle becomes the highest of priorities. Have both teams gone with their A team in the middle? I think they have, almost like special teams. And this is a very special tournament. One down by the number 25 there for Minnesota, Storbar. Can they clear the fire? They can't, or they smothered the fire off the boot. Minnesota, somehow they're trying to make a jailbreak. Move the chains. Tanioka, fresh air shot by here. Whistle on the play. Holding against New York. Recipient 21 for Minnesota, and that is Friday. Fandangles toward the forward line. Friday goes back and exerts his influence. Went in at ramming speed, illegal contact. New York have it, and you have Jordan now at the commentary wheel.
New York with the jailbreak coming ahead towards full forward. Minnesota was able to get there, not quite get the mark, but his companion able to run him out of danger as number 10, Brent Fisher for the freeze, now has the ball, slowing the game down, running it across to Ricebeck. Ricebeck slowing it down again. Minnesota obviously wanting to keep the game slow, keep the ball moving in their direction, and working pretty well for them so far. New York able to run possession out towards the boundary, and a solid tackle there for the freeze. That was Tatsuro Tanioka again.
Your man, Jordan, your man. For best on ground, you like him as an MVP for this match, don't you?
He has one of the best names to commentate on in the entire USAFL, Tatsuro Tanioka.
Meanwhile, here, right half forward action where the action is. You with the number 8 there for the Minnesota Freeze there, and Walsh. Not to be confused with Joe Walsh. And we'll jockey this one out, says New York, towards centre half forward, but who's there on his knees, like sending a prayer to the man upstairs there, and the number 10 there, and Fisher. And copped a bit of treatment, but he's a rough and rugged type, is Fisher. Just a cork in your leg, he says. I'll be right. I'll be damn well straight right, he says. There's no way I'm leaving this field. Look at eyes left and right.
Yeah, brave mark by Fisher to.
Yeah, and a good delivery by Fisher too. Couldn't quite make the connection, but good enough to go back and get it as a number 8 there. And Walsh once again, good delivery. Horn sounds. Number 16 does. Werner as a shot on goal. It won't count, but what counts is on the scoreboard. And the scoreboard does read the Minnesota Freeze. They win one here at the Nationals. 1 goal, 8-14 have defeated New York. 1 goal to 8. And again, it was the experience of these names, like I've said, have been around for a long, long time, like Snake Oil. Some, too, have represented their country at a higher love. The likes of Weaver and Werner and Mergen played a lot of football together. New York, though, too, their star makers like Schumacher, and that almost got them back over the line when it mattered. But what matters most is this, what goes on after every match, the shaking of the hands, the slapping of the hands. The sportsmanlike conduct, conducting ourselves very well across the tournament. The umpires have had no trouble whatsoever, and it's the spirit of this great game, what you're seeing right there, right now on Go Live Sportscast. Jordan Raddick, well done on your debut here on Go Live Sportscast at the green pastures of the Lakewood Ranch Premier Sports Campus. We'll leave it right there. We'll be right back. We'll catch you on the flip side. Thank you, Chris. Gates. 3 consecutive Division 1 grand finals. This ain't a grand final, like I said, this is a playoff final. They are now 38-2 since 2016, if you take into account their Nationals record here in the year 2019. Their only losses have been in grand finals, both to the Austin Crows in 2016 and 18. They are the 3-time defending Western Region champions. They are the Golden Gate Roos. So the Roos will go in probably as favourite against the underdogs, Denver, but that's just the way they like it. Old dogs for that hard row, and will it be old school rule, or will it be the new age kids on the block? Grab somebody to hang on to, hold on tight, because this is going to be like a heavyweight championship of the world. You are at the largest tournament of Australian football. Yes, Australian football. I like to call it USAFL. It's actually United States Australian Football League. We have our own brand, our own spin of Australian rules football, and here it is, the USAFL. Been around for a long, long time. Yeah, go figure that. This is the 23rd edition of this Nationals, the second time in Sarasota. Your umpires for this match, this 10 a.m. match, umpire Pearson Murray in the helm, and goal umpires Caesar and Sherlock. Locked down. Come and get down as the ball is about to jump around. The spirit of the